today we're at Aldi and we're checking out all the new stuff for the week. So let's get looking around and see what they got. Come on.
12 popular Aldi bakery items ranked from worst to best. Aldi's bakery section is lying to you, half of it anyway. We bought the most popular bakery items, tasted everything, and ranked them from should never have left the factory to the holy grail finds that don't make sense at Aldi prices. By the end, you'll know exactly what to buy and what to walk past like it insulted your family. Let's start with the worst item in the entire section. 12. Lovin' Fresh Blueberry Muffins. Worst. These muffins are a crime against breakfast, against blueberries, against the concept of baked goods. Open the package and you're greeted with the saddest muffins you've ever seen. Pale, dense, oil-spotted tops that glisten with sadness. The blueberries aren't blueberries. They're tiny blue sugar pellets that taste like chemicals and food coloring. Take a bite. The texture is wrong immediately. Too dense, too moist in an oily way, not a fresh baked way. It's like eating sweetened sponge that's been soaked in vegetable oil. The flavor is worse. Artificial blueberry flavoring mixed with sugar and sadness. There's no actual fruit taste, no tartness, no freshness, just chemical sweetness and regret. And they're dry somehow despite being oily. Your mouth feels coated after one bite. You need water immediately. The muffin sticks to the roof of your mouth like edible glue. For $2.49, you're getting 6 muffins. That's about 41 cents per muffin. Sounds like a deal until you realize you won't eat them. They'll sit on your counter for 3 days before you throw them away out of guilt. Aldi Facebook groups roast these muffins regularly. Tastes like disappointment in plastic. My kids won't even eat these. I'd rather eat the packaging. There are so many good Aldi bakery items. These muffins are not among them. They're the baseline, the rock bottom. Everything else is better than this. So that's the floor, the absolute bottom. And you'd think the next item would be better. You'd be wrong. What's waiting at number 11 is just another disappointment with better packaging. 11. Village Bakery Marble Pound Cake. This pound cake looks beautiful in the package. Marbled chocolate and vanilla. Sliced and ready to eat, convenient. Then you taste it and realize why it's always in stock. The texture is the first problem. It's simultaneously dry and gummy. How is that possible? Aldi figured it out. The cake crumbles when you bite it, but also sticks to your teeth. The chocolate swirl tastes like cocoa powder mixed with regret. Not chocolate, not even chocolate flavored, just brown and slightly bitter. The vanilla part tastes like vanilla extract was mentioned in the same room once. There's no actual vanilla flavor, just sweet, generic cake-flavored cake. And it's weirdly chemical tasting. There's an aftertaste that lingers, something artificial and unpleasant. You can't identify it, but you know it shouldn't be there. The slices are pre-cut, which should be convenient, but they're cut too thick. Each slice is a commitment. You can't have a small piece. You're eating a doorstop of mediocre pound cake or nothing. At $3.99, this cake costs less than bakery pound cake. But bakery pound cake is moist, flavorful, and doesn't taste like a chemistry experiment went wrong. People buy this once, usually for a quick dessert or breakfast. They never buy it again. It's the pound cake equivalent of a 1-star Yelp review. One person described it as what pound cake would taste like in a prison that's trying to punish you but not quite enough to file a complaint. Accurate. At least the pound cake has the decency to disappoint you quietly. It sits there, mediocre and ashamed, not drawing attention to itself. It knows what it is. But 10, it walks into the room announcing itself like it's about to change your life. Spoiler, it absolutely will not. If you like ruthless rankings, hit subscribe. The top 3 are why Aldi fans don't shut up about Aldi. 10. Friendly Farms Strawberry Shortcake Dessert Cups. These looked promising. Strawberry shortcake in convenient cups. Cake, cream, strawberries. Easy dessert. Except everything about them is wrong. The cake is stale, not a day-old stale. Stale like it was baked during a different presidential administration. It's dry, crumbly, and tastes vaguely of cardboard. The cream is Cool Whip, not whipped cream, not even good stabilized whipped cream. It's vegetable oil whipped into foam and sweetened. It tastes artificial and leaves a coating in your mouth. The strawberries are the saddest part. They're mushy, flavorless, soaked in syrup that's too sweet and tastes nothing like strawberries. They've clearly been sitting in liquid for too long. Put it all together and you have a dessert that tastes like someone described strawberry shortcake to an AI, and the AI did its best but doesn't understand joy. The texture is a disaster. Soggy cake, oily foam, mushy fruit. Nothing has the texture it should have. And they're surprisingly expensive for what they are. $3.49 for 4 small cups. You can buy actual strawberries, pound cake, and whipped cream and make better strawberry shortcake for the same price. These sit in the refrigerated section, always in stock, mocking shoppers who made the mistake of buying them once. Online reviews are brutal. Tastes like a gas station dessert. My kids took one bite and asked for ice cream instead. Why does Aldi sell these? Why indeed? These cups represent everything wrong with trying to make a fresh dessert shelf-stable and convenient. You can't have all three. Aldi chose convenience and shelf stability. Taste was sacrificed. So far, we've covered aggressively terrible, quietly terrible, and loudly terrible. You're probably wondering, does this list ever get better? It does, but 9 isn't where that happens. 9 is where terrible becomes forgettable. 9. Deutsche Küche, German chocolate cake. This is a German-style chocolate cake sold in Aldi's Deutsche Küche line. It's not bad, it's just there. The cake itself is fine. Chocolate cake that tastes like chocolate cake, moist enough, not too sweet, competent. The problem is, it's boring. There's nothing special about it. It's chocolate cake. That's it. No coconut pecan frosting like American German chocolate cake. No interesting flavors, just plain chocolate cake in a plastic container. The chocolate flavor is mild, not rich, not intense, just chocolate-ish. Like they use the minimum amount of cocoa necessary to call it chocolate cake. The texture is okay. Moist without being wet. Dense without being heavy. It's fine. It's cake. It does the job of being cake. But for $4.99, you want more than fine. You want good. You want memorable. This cake is neither. People buy this when they need chocolate cake, and it's there. Birthday parties where cake is required but nobody really cares. Office gatherings where something sweet is expected but not celebrated. It's functional chocolate cake, the kind you eat and forget immediately. 3 hours later, someone asks, "What did we have for dessert?" And you genuinely can't remember. The Deutsche Küche line usually delivers on quality. This cake delivers on existing. That's not enough to rank higher. One reviewer said, "This cake is the equivalent of saying fine when someone asks how you're doing. Technically accurate, but deeply unsatisfying." That's this cake in one sentence. Here's the thing about mediocrity. At least it's predictable. You know exactly what you're getting. It's boring, yes, but boring is reliable. Or is it? Because what's coming at 8 will make you question everything you thought you knew about reliability. 8. Loaven fresh white bread. Aldi's white bread is the most divisive item in the bakery section. Some people swear by it. Others swear at it. Here's why. Quality varies wildly by location and batch. Sometimes you get a fresh loaf that's soft, springy, and perfect for sandwiches. Sometimes you get a loaf that's already stale and compressed. When it's good, it's surprisingly good for 89 cents. Soft texture. Mild flavor makes excellent toast, decent sandwiches. It's basic white bread done right. When it's bad, it's cardboard. Dry, crumbly. The slices tear when you try to spread anything on them. It goes stale within 24 hours of opening. The problem is, you don't know which version you're getting until you open the bag at home, and by then, it's too late. This inconsistency is frustrating. If it was always mediocre, you'd know what you're getting. But the lottery aspect, will this loaf be good or garbage, makes it hard to recommend. For 89 cents, the risk is low, but wasting bread is annoying. And buying white bread that's already stale feels like Aldi is mocking you. Most people have a Aldi bread story. Either they got a great loaf and now buy it weekly, or they got a bad loaf and never tried again. The good batches would rank this bread much higher. The bad batches would rank it lower. Split the difference and you get number 8. Decent when fresh, disappointing when not. Impossible to predict. One person perfectly described it. Aldi white bread is like a first date. Sometimes it's great and you're excited for more. Sometimes it's terrible and you ghost them forever. You never know until it's too late. After the chaos of wondering if your bread will be edible, you'd think the next item would bring some stability, some peace, some predictability in this bakery wasteland. And you know what? For once, you'd actually be right. 7. Loaven fresh whole grain bread. This bread is the opposite of the white bread. It's consistent. Every loaf is pretty much the same, and that consistency earns it a higher ranking. The whole grain bread is dense and hearty. Nutty flavor from whole wheat, slightly sweet. Good texture that holds up to spreads and sandwich fillings. It's not artisan bread, it's not gonna wow you, but it's solid grocery store whole grain bread for $1.49. The slices are substantial. Toast them and they're excellent. Crispy outside, slightly chewy inside. Make a sandwich and it won't fall apart or get soggy, and it lasts. This bread stays fresh for 5 to 6 days easily, sometimes a week. The whole grains and denser texture preserve it better than white bread. For people who eat whole grain bread regularly, this is a reliable staple. Buy it weekly, make sandwiches and toast. No surprises, no disappointments. It's boring in the best way. Boring means reliable, and for bread, reliable is valuable. The only downside is it's not exciting. It's just whole grain bread doing whole grain bread things, but that's also why it works. People who buy this don't write reviews. They just keep buying it. That steady, quiet loyalty speaks louder than any online rave. One person summed it up. This is the bread equivalent of a reliable Toyota Camry. It's not sexy, but it'll get you where you need to go every time. That's 7. Reliable, boring, and better than everything below it simply by being consistently decent. But here's where things get interesting, because everything from 6 onward, that's where Aldi stops playing it safe and starts playing for keeps. 6. Specially selected artisan rolls. Here's where Aldi's bakery section starts getting interesting. The specially selected artisan rolls are actually good, not good for the price. Actually good. These are crusty rolls with a proper artisan texture, crispy outside, soft, airy inside, real bread flavor with a slight tang from proper fermentation. Bake them in the oven for 5 to 8 minutes and they're incredible. The crust gets extra crispy. The inside steams and becomes fluffy. They smell like a real bakery. Use them for sandwiches and they elevate everything. A basic turkey sandwich becomes restaurant quality with one of these rolls. Burgers transform. Even just butter and jam becomes special. The flavor is complex for grocery store bread. You can taste the fermentation. There's depth. These were made by people who understand bread, not just people filling quota. At $2.49 for 4 large rolls, they're more expensive than regular bread. But compare them to bakery rolls at $2 each, and they're a steal. The only complaint is they don't last long. You need to eat them within 2 to 3 days or freeze them. They're preservative-free, which is good for taste but bad for shelf life. But honestly, they're so good you'll eat them immediately anyway. People discover these rolls and become obsessed. Aldi Facebook groups have entire threads about them. Has anyone tried the artisan rolls? Followed by 200 comments of people saying, yes, life-changing. One person described them as proof that Aldi can make actual quality baked goods when they want to. These rolls are the dividing line. Everything ranked below is mediocre or functional. Everything above is genuinely worth buying for quality, not just price. So if that's 6, imagine what's waiting in the top 5. Spoiler, your breakfast routine is about to get expensive feelings about cheap bread. 5. Loaven fresh Hawaiian sweet rolls. Hawaiian sweet rolls from Aldi are shockingly good, possibly better than King's Hawaiian. Definitely better for the price. These are soft, pillowy rolls that pull apart easily. Slightly sweet without being dessert. Perfect for dinner rolls, sliders, or just eating plain because they're that good. The texture is incredible, soft and fluffy without being gummy. They spring back when you press them. The inside is fine crumbed and tender. The flavor is balanced, sweet but not overpowering, buttery, slight tang that gives them complexity. They taste expensive. Use them for pulled pork sliders and people will think you went to a specialty bakery. Serve them at Thanksgiving and nobody will know they're from Aldi. Eat them straight from the bag and your family will judge you, but they'll understand. At $2.49 for 12 rolls, they cost less than half what King's Hawaiian charges. And in blind taste tests posted online, people often can't tell the difference. Some prefer Aldi's version, slightly less sweet, more bread-like. These rolls have a cult following. People stock up when they're in stock. Some freeze multiple packages. Aldi knows these are popular and keeps them available year-round. The only weakness is they're so good you'll eat the entire package in one sitting. But is that really a weakness or just acknowledging reality? One reviewer said, "I bought these for burger sliders. I ate 6 plain before I even started cooking. No regrets." That's the Hawaiian roll experience. They're dangerously good, but we're not even close to the peak yet. What's at number 4 will make you question whether Aldi is actually a budget store or a French bakery in disguise. 4. Lovin' Fresh Butter Croissants. Aldi's butter croissants are absurd. You get 4 large croissants for $2.99. Actual butter croissants that are flaky, rich, and delicious. For context, a single butter croissant at a bakery costs $3 to $5. Aldi sells 4 for $3, and they're legitimately good. The croissants are pre-baked and need 8 to 10 minutes in the oven to finish. This is key. They're not just reheated. They're completing their bake in your oven. The result is spectacular. Crispy, golden exterior with hundreds of flaky layers, soft, buttery interior that pulls apart in sheets. The smell alone is worth the $3. The butter flavor is real. These are made with actual butter, and you can taste it. Rich, slightly tangy, complex, not margarine, not oil, butter. Eat them warm from the oven, and they're as good as bakery croissants. The exterior shatters when you bite it. The interior is soft and tender. It's croissant perfection. Use them for breakfast sandwiches, and you'll never go back to English muffins. Make chocolate croissants by adding chocolate chips before baking. Eat them plain with jam and butter. People lose their minds over these croissants. Food bloggers have written entire posts about them. Reddit threads discuss them like they're illegal drugs. Where can I find the croissants? My store is always sold out. I bought 6 boxes and froze them. The only downside is availability. These sell out fast at many stores. Go early or miss them. One person said, "These croissants are better than what I had in Paris, and I'm not even exaggerating for effect. They're that good." That might be hyperbole, but not by much. These croissants are shockingly close to real French bakery quality. So, butter croissants that rival Paris for $2.99. That's just 4 out of 12, which means there are 3 items that somehow impossibly are even better than that. The top 3 aren't just bakery items. They're the stuff of Aldi legend. 3. Specially selected brioche bread. This brioche bread shouldn't exist at this price point. It's too good, too rich, too perfectly executed. Brioche is expensive to make, lots of butter, lots of eggs, enriched dough that requires skill. Bakeries charge $6 to $8 for a loaf. Aldi sells theirs for $2.99, and it's legitimate brioche. Not brioche style, not enriched bread, real brioche. The texture is perfect, soft and pillowy with a fine, tender crumb, slightly sweet, buttery rich without being heavy. It pulls apart in soft, fluffy layers. The flavor is complex, butter, eggs, a hint of sweetness. It tastes expensive because it is expensive to make. Aldi just isn't charging you for it. Toast this bread and it's transcendent. The outside gets crispy and golden. The inside stays soft. Butter melts into it like it was designed for this purpose. It was. Use it for French toast and you'll ruin regular bread. French toast forever. The richness of the brioche makes custardy, decadent French toast that's better than most restaurants. Make grilled cheese with it, and the sandwich becomes gourmet. The brioche adds sweetness and richness that elevates everything. Or just eat it plain. Tear off chunks and eat them straight. It's that good. Food bloggers consistently rank Aldi's brioche as one of the best grocery store brioche breads in America. Better than brands costing twice as much, sometimes better than actual bakery brioche. People buy this and immediately text their friends. You need to try the Aldi brioche, trust me. One person described it as, what bread would taste like in heaven if heaven was run by the French. That's incredible. That's top 3 worthy. But here's the thing, there are still 2 items that beat it. 2 items so beloved, so universally praised, they make even French butter bread look like a warm-up act. 2. Loven Fresh Bagels. Aldi's bagels are the best I've found in a normal grocery store. The first bite tells you these aren't bread rounds with holes. Not the best discount bagels, not the best for the price. The actual best bagels you can buy at a regular grocery store. They're massive, dense, chewy, with a proper bagel texture that snaps back when you bite it. These aren't bread rounds with holes. These are bagels. The exterior has a slight crust. The interior is dense and chewy with that characteristic bagel pull. They toast beautifully, crispy outside, chewy inside. The plain bagels taste like bagels should. Malty, slightly sweet, yeasty. The everything bagels are loaded with toppings. Actual sesame seeds, poppy seeds, dried garlic and onion, not the sparse sprinkling you get from most brands. The cinnamon raisin bagels are packed with raisins and have actual cinnamon flavor. The blueberry bagels have real blueberries, not those fake blue chips. At $2.29 for 6 bagels, they're absurdly cheap. Thomas bagels cost $4 to $5 for 6. Bakery bagels cost $1 to $2 each. Aldi's are better than Thomas and comparable to bakery bagels for a fraction of the cost. These bagels freeze perfectly. Buy 3 bags, freeze 2. You now have bagels for weeks at a cost of $7. People who grew up in New York, the bagel capital, admit these are shockingly good. Not New York bagel shop good, but better than 90% of what you can buy in grocery stores anywhere. Aldi's bagels have won actual taste tests against premium brands. Food magazines have crowned them best grocery store bagels. They're not a hidden secret, they're openly acknowledged as exceptional. One person said, "I'm from New Jersey, I'm a bagel snob. These bagels are legit. I don't understand how Aldi makes them this good for this price, but I'm not complaining." The bagels are number 2 for good reason. They're exceptional. But there's one item that's even better. One item that represents the absolute peak of what Aldi's bakery can do. 1. Specially selected butter croissants. Fresh baked in-store. Best. This is it. The peak. The best item Aldi's bakery section offers, and it's not even close. Some Aldi stores have started baking croissants fresh in-store throughout the day. Not the take and bake kind from number 4. Actual from-scratch croissants baked by an in-store baker. These croissants are restaurant quality, French bakery quality, better than most dedicated bakeries, and they cost $2.99 for 4. The lamination is perfect. Hundreds of paper-thin layers. The croissants shatter when you bite them, sending flakes everywhere. The interior is soft, buttery, and pulls apart in delicate sheets. The butter flavor is intense and real. These are made with high-quality butter, and it shows. Rich, slightly tangy, complex. Every bite tastes expensive. The exterior is golden and crispy with a slight sheen from the butter. The shape is perfect. The classic croissant crescent with pointed ends and a fat middle. Eat one fresh from the oven, still warm, butter still melting inside, and it's a religious experience. The smell, the texture, the flavor, it's perfect. These croissants have changed people's lives. Not exaggerating. People have posted online about how these croissants made them realize what croissants are supposed to be. Food critics have visited Aldi specifically to try these croissants. They've written articles, made videos. The consensus is universal. These are shockingly, impossibly good. At $2.99 for 4, they cost 75 cents each. A croissant this good would cost $4 to $6 at a bakery. Aldi is basically giving them away. The catch? Not all stores have the in-store bakery program. You need to check if your local Aldi bakes fresh. If they do, you're blessed. If they don't, you're missing out on the single best grocery store bakery item in America. People drive to stores farther from home specifically for these croissants. They plan their shopping trips around when fresh batches come out. They've called stores to ask about baking schedules. One person said, "I took these to France, to actual France. I did a blind taste test with my French host family using these and a croissant from their local boulangerie. They couldn't tell which was which. And when I told them the Aldi croissant cost 75 cents, they refused to believe me." That's number 1. The fresh-baked butter croissants. The absolute peak of Aldi's bakery. The item that proves Aldi can compete with anyone when they try. If this ranking saved you from buying terrible muffins or helped you discover croissant perfection, hit that like button and subscribe. We're ranking everything at Aldi so you know exactly what's worth your money. Check out the video on your screen. We're ranking Aldi's frozen section next, and some of those items will surprise you even more than these bakery finds.